16 nights ago this evening, I came to you talking about the greatest Tottenham moment I've ever watched in my life, and one of the greatest sports moments I've watched in my life, period. And that was Tottenham Hotspur winning a trophy for the first time in 17 years. And not only that, it was a European trophy, something they hadn't done in 41 years. Now here we sit, 16 days later, and 12 days since the last game of the Tottenham Hotspur season, and manager Ange Postecoglou has been sacked. Welcome into Top of the Perch. I am your host, as always, Nick Burt, leading you on whatever this is going to be. A look back at 2024-25. Whatever's next for Tottenham Hotspur, I don't know. It's going to be a long and winding road. It's going to be a long, strange trip. Let's get into it, though. Ange Postecoglou sacked as Tottenham manager. As I mentioned, just 16 nights ago, lifting silverware in Bilbao. And here we sit 16 days later. Not even on the verge. We are at another rebuild. What's the point of it all? What truly is the point of it all? Yes, I very much understand. League form, dreadful. Our worst season since, I think it was the 70s or 80s. No team has finished below 40 points and survived. I believe was a stat. Tottenham finished on 38 points this year in the league. Yeah, league form, absolutely terribly dreadful. There is no sugarcoating it. It was awful. Bad start to finish, basically, all season. There was a little bit of glimmer of hope, like the first few weeks. Everything past that, none whatsoever. But I don't think this club was ever in trouble of relegation, which led to a decision in January by Ange Postecoglou. Who knows? It may have been just him directly, given that he is, the head coach. Maybe it was his whole staff. The decision was, we're going all in on the Europa League because we're not going to get anything out of the league. We're not going to get relegated, but we're not going to finish anywhere close to, Champions League, the Europa League, or the Conference League, for that sake. And, of course, this is coming off the backs of getting eliminated in the semifinal of the Carabao Cup, where they lost, it was like 4-1 at Anfield in the second leg, something along those lines. A game where Tottenham went in up 1-0 on aggregate, yet it just ends in disaster. So the decision is decided to turn focus on the league, or on Europa League. And time progresses, Tottenham keep advancing in the Europa League. Yes, the league form still is dripping dreadfully as Tottenham keep going down the table to places they haven't been in decades. But on the other hand, look, we made it to a Europa League semifinal. We're going to face Bodo Glimt from Norway. And over 2 legs, you should beat them. You're going to be in Bilbao. League form keeps dipping. It's calling for Ange sacked on Sunday, praising his glory on Thursday when you win a game in the Europa League. And it was just a constant cycle the last 2 months of the year. It was, wow, Frankfurt was amazing. 1-0 victory. What a defensive performance. And then Sunday, whoever it was we were playing, this is the worst football I've watched. Why is he still in a job? Then we get a few weeks later, still be, why is he in a job? Europa League. Wow, this is amazing. We just beat Bodo Glimt 3-1 at home. We're headed to Norway with a 2-goal advantage on aggregate. Sunday. Dreadful. Why is he still in a job? And then you get to Thursday again. Wow, we just won, 5-1 on aggregate. We just shut down Bodo Glimt on their home field, on their home turf. People said we should be scared of this place. We dominated this game. We're going to Europa League final. Ange is phenomenal. League form, dreadful. We get to Wednesday, 21st of May, 2025. Brennan Johnson tap in at the far post. Johnson again, ole ole. 1-0 final. Lifting silverware for the first time in 17 years. Surely this has guaranteed him a job. Friday, the trophy parade in North London. Season 3 is always better than Season 2, as he proclaims to the crowd. You can't sack this guy now. Sunday comes, last game of the season against Brighton and Hove Albion at home. 4-1 defeat. Nobody really cared. We're Europa League champions. And then it's, okay, what's next? The season's over. Let's back him in the transfer window and give him till the beginning of December or whatever you wanted to do. And then time kept ticking and ticking and ticking and ticking some more. First week goes by, nothing whatsoever. Everybody's on vacation. Daniel Levy's who knows where. Postecoglou's in Greece. Scott Munn does something, I don't know. And nobody's found. So we go a week. Okay. Probably a decision by early next week, Monday or Tuesday, at the latest, surely. Everybody comes back. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. And the week keeps going on. An interesting thing is happening, too, among all of this, is all the clubs that, Tottenham should be competing with, they're all making signings. Man City's making signings. Chelsea's making signings. Man United, a team that we beat in the Europa League final, remind you, making signings. Tottenham not connected with a soul in the world because nobody knows what the managerial situation is. Tick-tock, 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 tick-tock. And then it's Wednesday. And it's like, what are we waiting for? Why are we waiting for a decision? What could be so difficult here? Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. It's Thursday now and there's still no decision. All the newsmakers in England are saying, well, should have a decision by the end of the week. And that as this week went on, I kept thinking to myself, he's most likely gone. And knowing this club, 5 p.m. on Friday afternoon, that's when it's going to drop. Tick-tock, tick-tock, tick-tock. Friday, today, as this is recording, about 12:45 or 11:45, here in the Eastern time zone of the United States of America. That's 4:45 in England. Matt Law, Ange Postecoglou has been sacked by Tottenham, announcement imminent. Everybody picks up on it. 12:10 Eastern Standard Time. That is 5:10 in London. The official club statement comes out. Ange Postecoglou has been sacked. And boy, what a press release this was. You got so many words in here that, they fully laid it out following a review of performances after significant reflection. The club can announce that Ange Postecoglou has been relieved of his duties. How performance reviews? Since when are we doing those? There's a lot of people that should be getting performance reviews that don't seem to have one. It's a very interesting predicament. Then you get to the truly crux of the whole press release. However, the board unanimously concluded that it's in the best interest of the club for a change to take place following a positive start to the 23-24 Premier League season We recorded 78 points in the last 66 Premier League games. This culminated in our worst ever Premier League finish last season. At times, there were extenuating circumstances, injuries, and then a decision to prioritize our European campaign. Whilst winning the Europa League this season ranks as one of the club's greatest moments, we cannot base our decision on emotions aligned to this triumph. It just goes to show, if Ange Postecoglou finished 5th or 4th this season without a trophy, and we drop out in the quarterfinal of the Europa League, 100% he's still in a job right now. They're putting all the focus on the league performance, which I get it. League performance is how you truly get paid the money. Whatever. It is what it is. I don't, after what happened on the 21st of May, I don't know how you could even decide, hey, like, the circumstance, again, injuries. I don't even remember what the stat was, but it was a total of 1426 minutes. So 1426 minutes of total time missed with injury this year for players. I mean, there was a time this season where it felt like we were basically playing like a B squad because everybody of the A squad was injured. Absolute disaster. And who do you put the blame on for that? Do you put it on Postecoglou for his style? Do you put it on the medical team that clearly doesn't know what they're doing? Who do you put it on? Do you put it on the players for pushing themselves too hard? I don't know. Is it a combination of all of them? Probably. Yet you're going to do this. I don't know what the club truly wants to do here. Notably, we had 2 departures from the club this week. Donna Cullen leaves the board. She was Daniel Levy's right-hand man. Daniel Levy waxes poetic in this press release, saying she was a great person to work with, blah, blah, blah. Assistant coach Ryan Mason leaves to join West Bromwich Albion as their new head coach. Daniel Levy waxes poetic, Ryan has been a great servant, blah, blah, blah. Notably missing from the Ange Postecoglou sacking press release, you guessed it, Daniel Levy. No accountability taken whatsoever from him. There are no words from him. He has not said a word about it. I don't know. What do you take of that? That's your decision to make. Which, that leads us to, I don't even know where we go next. I guess let's kind of just look at the year in general, even though we kind of already did it a little bit. 17th finish in the Premier League. Obviously finished as champions in the Europa League. Went out in the 4th round of the FA Cup to Aston Villa. And went out in the semi-final to Liverpool in the Carabao Cup. Now again, league form, dreadful, terrible, all the words you want to put it. That is very unforgivable for a manager. And yes, that kind of makes the sacking decision make some sense. Some. But again, you got to remember this is a club that has not won a trophy in 17 years. Has not won a European trophy in 41. And that streak ends this year with a victory in Bilbao. Now, again, you ask me, the football was kind of dreadful in Bilbao, but Tottenham did enough to get across the line. Why wouldn't you at least try to keep building on what you have? You already have players pre the sacking since that final game of the season backing Ange, saying he has to stay, he blah blah blah. I don't think Christian Romero came out and directly said it, but basically, if Postecoglou's gone, he's gone. That's your vice captain. And I hate to say it, he's most likely gone within the next few weeks. That is absolutely terrible to say. He is one of the best defenders I have seen play in a Tottenham shirt. Absolutely incredible. I mean, he was the captain walking out on the 21st of May. Obviously, got passed off to Son when he got subbed on, but that man is a servant to this club. And here we are now. I mean, you got the young players like Bergvall and Gray, and I don't want to throw like Porro in there, but he barely got playtime under Conte, and he was still like 21 when he came over and Postecoglou started. You have those players that have come in, and that's basically been, the manager that brought them up to this Premier League level. They're backing him because, he's the one that gave them a true shot. I don't know how you make this decision now. It has been, like I said, 16 days since the Europa League final. This has been 12 days since the final game of the season. How are we almost 2 weeks parted from the end of the season and you're just deciding to sack him now? That is just so mind-boggling. Again, league form was quite dreadful. And that's what they're going off of. That's what they're going off of because Tottenham only care about league position for some reason. I shouldn't say Tottenham because I don't want to generalize and think that the fans are in there. I have seen so many polls and tweets and posts and whatever you want. Everybody loves a trophy. I've seen so many things say, I'd gladly finish 17th every year if it meant we won a trophy. Sure, you're not competing for the league, but to win something like a Europa League, to win something like a FA Cup, something the club hasn't done since 1991, is, you can say with the European competition, the FA Cup has been devalued. That is still one of the most prestigious trophies to win. And you can say what you want about the Carabao Cup. It is what it is. The club still hasn't won one of those since 2007, and that was the last trophy they won. Prior to that was 99, when it was obviously still the Worthington Cup. So whatever way you want to look at it, if you want to look at it as the last trophy, if you don't really value the Carabao Cup, then you go back to 91 with the FA Cup. And if you just want to talk about continental trophies, you go back to, obviously, 84 with the Europa League. Now, if you take a look, if you really want to take a thought piece and look at things, go look at that 2007-8 team that won the Carabao Cup, or the Carling Cup at the time. Go take a look at that 83-84 team that won the Europa League. Take a look at the 18-19 team that went to a Champions League final. Go look at the league form. Sure, 2019, they still finished top four. Go look at how they played the second half of that season. They were absolutely dreadful. Go look at 2007-8. They finished, I believe, 10th or 11th in the league. 84 wasn't much better. But they prioritized their cup competitions that they had chances to win to bring home silverware that put them in, those spots. Tottenham Hotspur, at least in the modern era, I'll say we'll go 90 on. They've not been both outstanding in the league and outstanding in a cup competition at the same time. That's just not something they did. They prioritized one over the other, and either one fell to the wayside or the other fell to the wayside. And when it came close to a trophy, it was league form is, who cares? Let's prioritize on the cup. Let's prioritize on a trophy. Didn't always work out, but alas, that's how it worked. This is no different. No different whatsoever. I just, it seems such a short-sighted decision, but I don't know what else you wanted him to do. Injuries, no manager is coming in and just throwing pixie dust at it and saying, wow, there's no more injuries. Every manager has to deal with injuries in football. That's just the game. I don't know why we're... I don't know. Yeah. Again, I think I even said in the post-match of the 21st of May that he's still most likely gone, but I don't know how you can sack him now. Well, he's gone, and I still don't know how you can sack him now. So, I guess that just moves on to what's next. What's next for 25-26? I can tell you, there's probably a lot of people leaving in the summer. I mean, first off, of course, you got to figure out the manager issue. It sounds like it's going to be Thomas Frank, which I don't know what you want me to say. I think he's a good manager. I hope it's not a Nuno situation. I feel like he's being set up for failure at this moment because I don't think this locker room is going to be real thrilled by how all of this went down because, let's be honest, it's, I would say, a level move for Tottenham going from Ange to Thomas Frank. It's not like we're upgrading to anything. I know Simone Inzaghi was, thrown in like, hey, he could potentially come over if, Inter lose the Champions League final, or even if they win, he may look for something new. Well, then Inter got their doors blown off 5-0 to PSG, and he ran off to Saudi for $26, $27, $28 million a year for a 2-year contract. A year. 28 a year. There's zero chance Tottenham were going to pay a 16th of that for him. So that dream was out the window so quickly. You already see the Pochettino popping up. Oh, Tottenham are interested in Pochettino. You are falling for bait. There's zero chance that is happening. Because if I know anything about Tottenham Hotspur, they are not paying out his U.S. contract. That is, I believe, a $30 million buyout at this moment. He gets paid $6 million a year. Most likely isn't going to make that with Tottenham. There is zero chance he's coming back. And if he does, cool. It's going to end up poorly again. I can already tell you that. It's going to end up being a disaster again. You want to throw in Marco Silva from Fulham? Cool. I'm done then. What are we even doing at this point? I don't want to watch that type of football. That just has no excitement to me whatsoever. Half of these managers, it's like, you really expect them to manage a Champions League team next year? You can say the same thing about Ange. You can say you really want him managing a Champions League fixture next year. Honestly, I don't know. He did pretty well in the Europa League. Why not give him a shot? It seems simple enough. Meanwhile, you want to bring in Thomas Frank, who, let's see, I believe they went out to Plymouth in the third round of the FA Cup this year at home. Struggled in the Carabao Cup. I don't know if they made it past the third round. I believe the only major trophy he's won at any level is promotion from the championship in a playoff final. The deepest he's gone in a cup competition, I believe, was the semifinals of the Carabao Cup where they lost to Tottenham Hotspur on 2020-21 season. That was 4 years ago. I don't know. I get it. Brentford don't spend money. They are the money ball of soccer. They always buy very low, sell very high. Yet it doesn't get them anywhere. Yes, they are very much overachieving these past few years. Are they a Premier League side? I mean, technically, they've stayed in the league all these times. Sure, maybe he's a magic worker. I don't have a good feeling about it. It is what it is. I think he's a decent manager. Get somebody in quickly because Tottenham have fallen so far behind already this summer, and the window just opened 6 days ago. They need so much depth if you're going to try to compete in the Champions League this year and apparently try to compete in the league too. You're going to need to invest in so many players that aren't going to come here. You can say, oh, the Champions League knock, it's a different knock. Go look at what United have done. They have 0 European football this year, and they're just taking players right and left. That's a different knock. Manchester United knock. That club is in shambles right now. You would think we'd lost that Europa League final with the way they're signing players right now. Yet here we are. The table's turned. We won the title, and we are doing nothing about it because we sat on our hands for 16 days, however many days it's been, to decide if we're keeping a manager or not. And now here we are. Absolute just disaster class by this club. How you wash away all that hope and joy and whatever you want to put it at from winning the Europa League to today, it's an absolute revolt. It's an absolute revolt on all levels from all people. And it's a disaster. It's an absolute disaster, this club. And I can't say I'm not surprised. What do you expect from this club? Truly, what do you expect? This club is an absolute disaster 95% of the time. So, hey, come on. I don't know where this club goes from here. You finally felt like you turned a corner. If you forget the league form, of course. Felt like you finally turned a corner. You finally found a manager you can kind of build off of, back him with depth, and, let's go. Let's go. All for naught. All for naught. What? Why? Why invest when we can just sit here and just keep collecting money? Let's keep sacking a manager every 18 to 24 months. That's really going to fix things. I mean, what are we doing? What are we doing? Liverpool. I mean, when Jurgen Klopp came, did they give him 2 years and give him the sack when he didn't, win the league? No. They invested in him. They kept continually building the squad. And look, they won a league. They won a Champions League. And even though Klopp left this year, they won the league this year with a squad that was built for Klopp. I mean, Ruben Almiron, he's only been on the job 6 months and people were calling for his head. But no, what are United doing? They're backing him. They're backing him with players. Hey, we won the Europa League. Goodbye. Thank you for your service. That's the brutal life of football, my friends. And now we wait. We sit here and wait. Another fun time at Tottenham Hotspur as another rebuild begins. Let's see where it goes here. What else? Scott Munn out of a job. Perch may be back. Daniel Levy going to be here until the day he dies. Doesn't seem like any outside investment is coming out anytime soon. Joe Lewis's daughter might be running the club now. Nobody really knows. Yep. And that's where we're at. 16 days ago, the highest of highs. Here we are now. Where did it all go? What happened? What actually happened? So yeah, I have now rambled on for a half hour. We'll be back when a new manager is announced. That, who knows, maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday, maybe Monday. Maybe we'll wait another 2 weeks. Why not? Why not wait another 2 weeks and continue to waste our summer? Why not? Why not? So that's going to wrap it up for this episode of Top the Perch. Thank you so much for watching. If you just stumbled across this video, click like, click subscribe. Tell anybody you know about it. We're still Europa League winners, just so you know. That for those people where their club was relocated from South London to North London, a European trophy is actually something you strive to achieve. I know you guys have never seen one, but it is what it is. So yeah, Tottenham Hotspur. What a football club.